Welcome to the Prolific Health and Fitness Podcast. The two founders here today, me, you're stuck with me, and my wife, Payton. So, yeah, we thought today would be kind of a day to do something a little different and kind of give the founder story and talk about why Prolific is even a thing in the first place and why we're here. I guess, Payton, your story will probably be different than mine. I think I kind of just dragged you into this, but
full on.
It'll be refreshing to get kind of your perspective into this too, and the process that we've kind of gone through to get to this point. Especially because it's not the conventional process. It's been very it's been an adventure to get this going. So I guess in your eyes, because I know you're more on like the therapy side of things, obviously, but kind of thinking behind the decision to be like, hey, let's do a brick and mortar like gym kind of thing. What was your thought process when that first kind of became an idea?
Well, how much time do we got? So once we moved up here from Springfield and got our own house where we are now in Odessa, I was prepared that we were probably going to get a brick and mortar at some point, because that is your passion and I support you 10,000%, over and over again. And I knew that's what your end goal was and your dream, and, you like the grind of it, the hustle and bustle of it. So honestly, I was prepared for it, but I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to come about per se. One day you came and you're like, hey, look at this. I'm like, what is this? And you're like, this might be a potential for, where we can go with Prolific and start our own, business and take it from there. So, like I said, I kind of support you 10,000% and want you to go for your dreams just like you want me to go for mine. So I was all game, ready for it. I knew the therapy part would be an aspect of it, but I wasn't sure when that would be part of it. And it was kind of thrusted upon us of like, we should probably start this sooner rather than later. So it was kind of getting my mind right for me being a business owner, because I am not a business kind of person. I do not think about business the way you think about business, and I don't know all the ins and outs. I am a doer. I like to treat. I like to coach. That's about it. But I've had to learn a lot. We've had a lot of talks about all of this. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it seemed like a good idea. I was talking to Jordan, the guy who's behind the camera, behind the scenes, about this earlier, of like being an entrepreneur. Like I feel like there's a difference. Maybe this is just me, but I feel like there's a difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. Or like a business owner, you can own a business, you can run the business, and you be comfortable in that. And as an entrepreneur, you're kind of, it's like a bad like Johnny Knoxville Jackass skit where you just like getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over again, because as soon as the pain goes away, you're like, how can I inflict more pain? Like, how can I do something to make this grow or take it to a new level? And like we had the online portion of Prolific going pretty well. Like we were comfortable, like things were good, and then it's like, hey, let's do a brick and mortar and try and nail this down. And I don't think that decision came up, and I don't think any entrepreneur makes a decision based off of like, how can this suck? But it's more so like, I think it's time we actually establish ourselves in a community and actually give to a community and help, create economy in a community. It's definitely been a roller coaster. It's definitely different than just starting and scaling an online business. But it's been really cool to see the evolution that's happened. And when starting it, I knew that I didn't want to be just on the floor coaching people all the time. Like, I genuinely do love nerding out on the business side of things, which is, I think, part of why our natural movement of our member base has been like a little bit older professionals, business owners, executives, like that kind of level of people, because I enjoy being around that kind of level of people, and I can learn. Like, I get to come to work every day and learn about my passions because they've all done it already. And so it's been really fun, and it's great because I feel like they're giving to me and giving to us with the expertise that they have in their own personal life. And in return, we can give them more health, more vitality, give them a better, work-life balance, give them a better appreciation for life. And so I think that's really why Prolific came about, in terms of just being a brick and mortar kind of health and fitness facility. But with that, there came the obvious, elephant in the room of most of the facilities around here, and nothing against, I'm 100% supportive of anybody who wants to help others live longer and healthier lives. But I feel like there was a lack of people that genuinely were focused on helping people live longer and healthier lives. And I felt like there was an overabundance of people who just wanted to make people sweat and feel like they were getting a workout. And nothing against that. It's just, being as deep in research as you and I both are, we understand that that's not actually how you create a healthy lifestyle for the long term. And so it came into, we need to change the narrative of what fitness is and change the narrative around health, which is difficult to do whenever you're a new brand and a new business and now you're trying to reteach the market something. But then there was also a thing of like, a lot of the people in our demographic were hurt. And not just hurt, they were hurt by the gym. Like they got hurt in the gym, which then caused them to distrust trainers or distrust gyms, or got them scared to work out again. And so we had to be like, okay, how can we help these people recover? How can we help these people get back into the gym, and to do so in a way that didn't make them scared of working out again, and realizing that getting stronger was actually a tool that was necessary for recovery and not the thing that was just going to get them re-injured, which is where you became a big pillar in that. What's one thing that you've noticed when doing some of the therapy stuff, and how that's integrated well with like the facility? And did you see that same need that I saw, like whenever we decided to do this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you go into most gyms, especially the big box office gyms, and you see instantly like 7, 8 people doing something wrong, right? Or having crappy technique, and they're going to injure themselves. And it's like, okay, whoa. Like, I had multiple instances where I wanted to help somebody, but it's also like, can I go up to them and be like, hey, you're doing that wrong? But then they're going to be like, fuck you, like, leave, please. I don't want your help, or something like that. So it was really like a push and pull. Anytime I went to a box office gym, like one of the big ones, like Genesis or Planet Fitness or something like that. So having our own space of being able to see the clientele in here and being able to help them through that is amazing. Like, we're preventing injury. There might still be some injuries because of everybody works, they do the same motions, or they have repetitive jobs. So it's being able to integrate that in here. It's like, okay, what is your job? You sat at a desk all day? All right, let's see your posture. Let's see how tight those hamstrings are. Like, all of that kind of stuff. Or sorry, not hamstrings, quads and hip flexors are from sitting all day. So I've seen quite a bit of a shift, even from like just taking on the gym, of people being like, asking Stan, Logan, Dolan, of like, hey, this hurts. Whereas before, I feel like people wouldn't say anything. they would just go through the motion because that's what they were told, and then end up having an injury down the road, having to have a surgery. But now I feel like our clientele here really speaks up and at least lets somebody know that this movement isn't comfortable for me, so we can adjust it, right? It might not be me adjusting it, it might be the trainers adjusting it, but I've seen a pretty big shift on people actually asking for help, which is kind of what we wanted, right? Like we wanted people to be like, hey, like this workout sucks, and it's not because it's a hard workout, it's because my back hurts. Like it's hurting my back. Why? So we go into that.
I love that. And it's very true of, you know, when we first came in, there was a lot of like unspoken pain. And then people just quit showing up. And it's like, what's wrong? It's like, well, this hurt. And so to be in a position now where people will openly be like, hey, I'm noticing that this pain is happening, and they're now educated enough, and I do give a lot of credit to the team for making sure that like, hey, don't wait until something actually hurts to bring it up. Because there's a difference, and it's knowing that difference between pain from just a good workout and exercise and real pain. And so they're able to communicate in a way that we can typically catch something before it becomes real pain from injury, and we can address it so that they don't even need therapy. And maybe that's bad business practice, because we could easily just wait till someone gets injured and be like, hey, we have this, you know, like the pharmaceutical industry. We'd be like, oh, you're sick, take this medicine. It's going to do something else for you. But guess what? When that happens, we have another medicine for you. And it's like, no, we want to catch things so that they don't need the therapy. Like that's the whole goal. And if they do, well, guess what? We have that service. And our goal is not to make you stay in therapy forever. It's to get you back into the gym and thriving and feeling good.
I tell all of my patients, I like you, but I don't want you to be here. Kind of thing. Like, please leave. Like, I really like you, but I'd rather see you out in the community than versus having to see me. Like, my end goal is for them not to come back for therapy reasons, right?
Yeah, I love that. And a big thing with like going into kind of the origin of this too, and why naturally we kind of gravitated to that more kind of seasoned professional kind of stage of life, and who we attracted. I also realized too that, like, you know, when someone feels good, like when they look good, when they move good, like when they don't feel heavy or foggy or bogged down, their quality of life generally just raises and elevates. And so then they are able to go to work with that higher quality of life and treat everyone at their work better. And they go home and they treat their families better. They treat their kids better. And realizing like that has this like trickle effect out where, you know, let's say we have someone who is a management position or even owns a business, and they go in and they treat their employees or their team like crap. And not because they mean to, but because they're tired, they're aggravated, they're frustrated, they don't feel right, and they don't know why. So it causes that fuse to get a little bit shorter than what they even realize. And so they don't understand, and maybe it's just out of their purview of, you know, that employee or that team member is going home and taking the frustrations from workout on their spouse or their kids, and they don't even know why. They just know that they had a bad day, and for some reason they just can't look at their spouse with a smile because they're too in their heads. But if we can elevate that one person's quality of life, and then they go to the workplace and they bring that same energy to everyone else, then everyone else goes home and brings an elevated quality of life to everyone else. Then they go out into their, you know, little mini communities and do the same thing. And realizing if we can help those people who actually impact others on a day-to-day basis, we can actually change communities to do something amazing. And I feel like most gyms just focus on getting people to sweat. And we focus on building you up so that you can be a positive impact on the community as a whole, not just our gym community, but like Lee Summit, Kansas City. That's something that's really important and something that I think selfishly I'd never really focused on enough before, especially being in the Marine Corps where everyone's kind of like your identity's found in being kind of negative and pessimistic and whiny, just because that level of kind of negative humor helps you get through a lot of crap. But it also causes a lot of broken families and broken homes in the military. And realizing coming to a community like this and, you know, actually being able to purchase our forever home and, you know, do that, I realized like, I think what I'd been programmed to believe is not right. And that we should have this shift in the way we deliver our service because it's more than just sweating. It's more than just losing weight.
Yeah. Well, it's like every patient that I have, they have, of course, their normal goals depending on if they have a deficit or something. But it's always like, what do you want to work on? What is important to you? And I think we do a really great job with this community of saying, okay, your goal is to gain weight so you can lift your children. Your goal is to slim down for a wedding you have in 6 months. Okay? Your goal is to not have back pain whenever you play with your kids. Like that is huge. And we don't give expectations to people who come in the door and are just down. We meet them where they're at, right? We don't push them so far where we know that that's not going to happen. We meet them right then and there where they're at and give them challenges, of course, to see if we can push. And we do push, but it's not like an overabundance push of like, I'm just going to make you sweat today, man. Like, no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, it's not just
like
sled pushes and burpees till you drop.
What are we doing? Like, if you want to do CrossFit, cool. We'll do CrossFit.
Yeah.
That is sweating your balls off. But with, 67-year-old Margaret, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
She wants to maybe crochet. I don't know. Like she wants to be able to get golf, pickleball, because it might blow out her knee.
I mean, think about Alana, right? Like Alana is older and retired, but she still golfs like 3 days a week and walks it. Like she's a champ, but she's in here training. And it's not just like death by burpees and stuff. Like, no, that's not what we do. We focus on movements that challenge her, but are doable and translate into what she wants to do in life. And the big thing too that I think Prolific really focused on, even before it became a brick and mortar, was that this is not a quick fix weight loss thing. This isn't a 6-week boot camp gym. It's not. Like this is not a place that you come to because you want to lose fat next month. Your stomach's growling. This is a lifestyle gym, meaning like when you come here, you're coming here because you want to live healthier, longer. You want to look good for the long haul. You want to feel good for the long haul. This is and do we help people lose fat? Yes. Do we help people gain strength? Yes. Do we help people do those things? Absolutely. But the beautiful thing about our membership base that I absolutely love is that it's not the priority goal. Their priority goal is I don't want like my kids to have to quit working or quit school or something because they need to wipe my butt and take care of me whenever I'm in my 70s.
You know I'm doing that.
Yeah, and like that's their goal. Like they want to be healthy. But in that pursuit, it's like, hey, my daughter's wedding's coming up and I want to fit my dream dress that I picked out and I need to lose some weight. If that was their only goal, they would hit that, they would feel amazing, and then they would quit. And then they would end up back where they started 6 months later. But these members are different. Like they're like, no, like that's not the main goal. That's not the main priority. That's a goal now. But once that's done, my journey's not over. Like it's still got a lifetime to go because this is a lifestyle. And once you hit a certain age, there is no passively maintaining. There's no like, oh, I'm just going to chill and relax and stay the same. Like, no, you'll regress. You don't just sit and do nothing and stay exactly how you are. We're not in our 20s anymore. Like, that doesn't happen. It takes effort to maintain, and it takes even more effort to get that positive progress. So that's what I really love about training the members here is like, it's not quick fixes, and it allows us to actually build relationships with people and actually get to know people, because they don't just come for a month and then leave. Like, they're here because they genuinely want to be healthier, and they know that like this is a place that can help them do that and to fit it into their lifestyle and make it easier for them, so they don't have to take all that time to think about the best workouts, the best nutrition and stuff. Like, no, you can use that mental capacity to focus on family, to focus on friends, and focus on things that you actually want to focus on, and leave that to us. And we'll take care of that. And you can just rest assured that you actually have professionals who can do that for you. But what would you say is your goal? And I've never asked you this before, actually. Like, what would you say is your goal within Prolific as like a co-founder? Like, where would you like to see part of our impact go?
Really throwing me on the spot here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever really thought long and hard about it, but the first thing that of course comes to my mind is like having that kind of like what we do now is making sure we have that seamless therapeutic to gym combo that people are super comfortable with, not relying only on PTs, OTs, SLPs, you know what I mean? Like being able to have that seamless and driving that seamless transition to a gym and feeling like whoever is in the gym is giving them a really good base in what they need. Because sometimes I feel like in outpatient clinics, like you discharge somebody because of insurance purposes, or they ran out of, their deductible is met, something like that, because it always happens to be insurance.
Yeah, but they're not ready.
They're not ready, and then they're like, well, I'm going to go to the gym, and you're like, no, don't go to the gym yet. I don't know where you're going, kind of thing. But here, like, having that therapy side that's confident in the trainers that they're about to give them to, kind of thing. Like, just that transition and being kind of like the person for that transition, I think is like my ultimate goal. But yeah.
I love that. And I think for me, because you summed it up perfectly in terms of like the vision for the facility and what we want to see this really be is a place that people can get long-term care, in terms of like, you're going to get healthier and you're going to live longer and be happier, and you're going to be with people that are professionally proficient in those more advanced aspects of training and nutrition. And then for me, I think just in the CEO seat and thinking bigger, like longer term vision. And for me, like the big thing that I want to see happen is our nonprofit. And I've been playing around with what it should be called or whatever. And I don't know, that God kind of brought to my mind something called the Prolific Way. And it's kind of leading the way for us to help eradicate malnutrition and death of child amputees in war zone countries, essentially, because just seeing that happen and knowing that we have the tools to fix it. But for some reason, the people who have the tools either don't have the passion to fix it, or the right brains to fix it don't have the tools to fix it. And it's like, if we can do that and have people, like you, who understand prosthetics, and have people like, me and Logan and Stan, who understand the nutrition and understand the supplementation, and we can actually bring things to those communities and help those kids. I still remember like seeing this little girl in Africa who had her leg like chopped off, and she was the happiest kid. Like always had a smile on her face. Could tell she was hurting. Like they didn't have medication, so you could tell she was in constant pain, but she was still always smiling. And then after I had left, realizing like she had passed away. And so it's stories like that make me, used to make me furious. Like I used to get mad. Like why would we let that happen whenever we know we can fix it? And then realizing like it's not our government's job to fix that, but it's on the people to fix it. And some people that it never comes to their mind. They've never seen those things, so they don't. You might see it in a movie or on TV, but I think it's easy just to assume that other people are taking care of it. And then I think God just kind of places that mission on specific people of like, you can fix it. Don't say, oh, there's probably someone else. No, you can fix it. And so that's where I see my long-winded answer of the vision of Prolific going, is using what we do here to help fuel what we can do there. And tying this to where like every member who trains at a Prolific knows that not only are they coming in here to live longer, healthier lives, but they're ensuring that, a 12-year-old amputee in a foreign country actually gets to see their 20s or 30s. And that's something that, I don't know of many other companies that have that same kind of mission, especially in the health and fitness space. And just even if I was a member, it would make me feel good knowing that like part of what I'm giving here not only is helping the local economy, but it's also helping literally save lives somewhere where like some kid might not see their teens or their 20s. And it's like, they deserve that. Like they didn't do anything wrong. They're just kids. So that's where I see it. But yeah, that's kind of the founders episode, not to get too deep or too heavy, but we did. Yeah, so that's us. Isaac and Payton Miller, we are the Millers.
Good Lord.
Dysfunctional and happy.
Just like the movie.
Yeah. We got our donkeys, our ducks, our dogs, and you'll see more of us. You'll see more of her. I'm going to start dragging her in front of the camera more.
We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and stay tuned for another episode. We'll catch you next time.